a little bit different in this work than it is
It's like a miracle. Something comes out of this big machine. And that's all coming into our home. That's just one example. Number two, they just discovered in the United States cure for 5 major cancers. Somebody said the pharma companies, there's one pharma company here? Yes. Where? The Organizational Behavior Society. All the professors in the world who are teaching organizational behavior, guess what he told them? He said, don't you ever give them another lecture again. Why? The lecture is already here on their iPad, right? Why would you so forth? So the education has to be an interactive experience. So imagine what that little 20...
If this was India, I would be touching a feet.
Right. You all know, let me see, let's go back a little bit so that they can see it. Right, is it okay now? Okay. So I think you all know who Raju is, right?
No. Only Maribel knows.
Tell us who you are.
I'm the victim for this morning. I'm the sucker guy. I'm the fall guy. I'm a resident of Philippines, even though I don't look like one, and I've been here for 32 years, and I've been in the industry of PD and OD for the last 12 years, and she's been my sister for the longest time. And I also run a little TV show which actually promotes, which implements or employs appreciative inquiry, and I put out learning. So most of my guests are usually from the field of learning, education, training, teaching, and OD. And of course, when Roland was coming, I asked Maribel to send him over, so he was there last week. You can see the interview on YouTube. It's called Leading Change. So I'm a father of 3, and I don't lend money. I'm in the market to borrow. I'm in the market to borrow, so if you want to lend me, I'll take it. Interest rates are anyway very low now. It's a very cultural thing. It's a cultural goo. So you will go. Sige, so is that it?
That's it.
Okay.
So now, let's just have a little conversation. So, what did you hear in the interview, when you interviewed me, from me? Kind of summarize what you learned or what struck you.
Well, it was aha. The whole thing was a big aha. It was 40 minutes of aha. And it was quite similar to what you just heard a while ago. And the excitement level, the passion level, the fact that this gentleman is physically here in the year 2012, but is spiritually and mentally in the year 2050. At least, I would assume 2050. And what he sees and experiences and feels in the year 2050, he's excited about it, number one, very excited. He's just rabidly excited about what he sees in 2050, and he wants us to know what he sees. He wants us to feel what he sees, and he wants us to be ready for the experience in 2050. And so he spoke about that. He spoke about change. He spoke about how we should individually be ready as human beings, and how we should change our total attitude towards relationships, towards systems, towards structures, and towards whatever our old belief systems are. He said we should give up. We should be ready for a brand new world. That's what he said. So you can see, and of course, these are not the words that he used. This is my summary of it, and that's what he said. And yeah, in essence, that's what he said.
You said it better than I did.
And then two things on my mind is, I did that evening after you spoke about 3D printing. First thing I went, oh my God. That evening when I was watching CNBC, they did show a little clip on 3D printing. I don't know if any of you watched it. This was December, this is November, what date? What was it? No, a week ago. A week ago. I don't know. What date was that?
Friday, Saturday?
Yeah, it was November 1. It was just after the holidays. And you know how the 3D printing machine looks? He was talking about a big thing, what they showed on CNBC. It was like 2 microscopes. Have you seen a little microscope in a school lab? So they were put together, and what they did was they just made an earring. They showed it being made. So it spews out the material that plastic earrings are made of. So you see an earring on the monitor, and you click print, and those 2 little microscopes will create your pink earrings with dangles. That's a start, because he's right. So if you can do earrings, you can do shoes. You can do shoes, you can do machines and stuff. So I saw that thing. So that was a glimpse of 2050.
Right. Good. And you mentioned, maybe I said you need to forget about everything that you know. Ariel's boss, when I first worked with him, we have it in print someplace. He said, when I went through whole systems transformation, I had to forget about everything I ever learned about leadership. And that really was a shift to I'm the boss to the people are the boss. Who's the smartest person in the room?
All of us.
All of us. No boss. So from all your guests
Yes, sir.
and your television programs,
Yeah.
what advice do you have for this group, for the Philippines?
Jesus, that's a big one.
That's a big one. About change.
Good. So I've been blessed to have had 150 powerful guests from the field of learning, from the field of business, from the field of social responsibility, and some were Filipinos, lots of them were foreigners, some young, some old. The top names that I'd like to drop today is, number 1 was Peter Senge. Number 2 was Roland Sullivan. Just because he's here, but otherwise he would be number 1, Dr. Senge would be number 2. Then there was Jack Canfield. Last week I had Brian Tracy. And I've had Dr. Villegas, I've had Joseph Jose Navarro, Pepe Navarro of University of Asia Pacific. All of them, if I was to give you a gist in 2 minutes, all of them, number 1 was saying, get your values right.
Yeah.
Individually and socially. Get your values right. Have a clear-cut picture of what your values are. Get a clear picture of it. Number 2, see the future. I mean, you all know this. You're all OD practitioners. See the future as clear as a picture, and then create a strategy. And then work it again and again. Tides of change will work against you. There'll be challenges, there'll be hardships, there'll be things that may not fall in place right away. But all of them said, including Sarah Lee Alcaraz last week, 2 weeks ago, she says, we just need to get up and do it right again and again. And you will change the world that we live in. So the essence of everyone, whether it was Peter Senge's 5 disciplines, or whether it was Pepe Navarro's planning well, or yours leading change, all of this, actually the gist of it is that. Get your values really, really right. It's not, no biased values, the values have to be really global. And I'm not talking of religion at all. None of them say religion. None of them mention it. Though they respect it, they acknowledge it, but none of them say anything about it.
So as you think about what you're going to say, I want to support 2 ideas that are very important. Peter Senge and I both studied with Chris Argyros. Argyros taught at Pepperdine. He is the founder of OD, Kurt Lewin personally. He's just lost his mind now because of age. This is the classic statement that I learned from him at Pepperdine. We used to call these the 3 holies. We used to call them the Holy Trinity. And this is what he said. Systems that are self-renewing and evolving are those where people seek valid information so that they can make free and informed choices, and where there is commitment to these choices as well as ongoing monitoring or feedback of their implementation. That is, in essence, what OD is. Get the valid information data, allow the organization, the team, to freely choose how it wants to be and where it wants to go. And if that happens, they will be committed to change. They will not resist it. And then, of course, you must evaluate it. That's OD in essence. Number 2, I want to support something you said. Talked about values. I'm going to give you 6 points that are extremely important. 1,700 CEOs, 64 countries, 18 industries have 6 imperatives. This is this last year. Number 1, empower employees via values. Values is what's going to change the organization. You might even make a comment on all this afterwards. If you've got some things going in your head, right?
Of course.
Right. Always does. Values are deep. And the beauty about the Philippines is they have tremendous values. Any Chinese here? One. So here's the top 6. I'm just going to give them to you. Number 1 is values. Number 2 is effective engaging connections. That's what whole systems transformation is all about. Next, the outcome right here is organizational agility. Be able to go like this as an organization, take advantage of the change, or it's going to go by. I transformed Ireland. North and South were killing each other. And in our big meeting, if we don't stop killing each other, the world is going to pass us by. They made the commitment, went out and got the kids to stop shooting each other, and they had the highest per app income increase in the world with their software. Because as a country, they decided to change. Next one. Then we'll get you in. No, we'll get you in and comment, and then you comment on what he says, and we'll say whatever. Next one. You heard it. Innovation and partnerships. You partner with everyone. In government, you're going to partner with everybody. Next. Engaging customers. In organizations I'm working in, I bring the customers right into my big meetings. Oh, I got the stories. And of course, the last one is change towards greatness. They're second to the last study that they've done. This for me, this is some of those valid wisdom we have on earth today. Okay? Was change. Change, change. That was their theme. Okay? Then it was innovation. And this year, it's agility. But that's it. Come here, sir. The platform is yours. Say whatever you want for as long as you want until Maji cuts you off.
Okay. First of all, Roland, I have to clarify. I really cannot get paid. It's against the law. These guys want to force me. These guys want to force me. I am not getting paid here.
He's not getting paid.
All right. First of all, for both the public sector and the private sector, I've come from private sector, just joined government 2 years ago. So I'm some of the organizations who were former clients of mine. First of all, values. Why are values important? It's not so much as putting a list of values on the wall and letting employees memorize it. It's really especially for change leaders, especially members of the leadership team, to really become aware of what they truly hold as important. Because those values will then be consciously or oftentimes unconsciously be reflected in the way the organization will be designed and the way it's going to be run. For example, when you talk about customer, caring for the customers, that doesn't just come out as a practice or a